Welcome to the Monday, September 29th, 2025 Finance and Property Standing Committee public session. I would like to welcome trustees and staff, and I don't see anybody from the public, so welcome. We have our committee members, Trustee Michael Chen, Trustee Melanie Wright, Trustee Ron Lin, Trustee McCarthy, and Trustee Kalasowski here present. Trustee Cindy Liang is online, and Trustee Jenny Chen sends her regrets. Oh, is Nadeem? Sorry, thank you. Also online is Nadeem Mahmood. Is that it? Okay, thank you. So trustees, you know the drill. Please raise your hand if you have any questions, and your name will be added to the speakers list. And raise your hand so that Tahuja can see that you're wanting to speak, and I will recognize you when it's your turn. And I would like to begin tonight's session with the land acknowledgement, and Trustee Melanie Wright is going to read that for us. Go ahead, Melanie. Thank you, Chair.
We affirm that we are all treaty people and acknowledge that the York Region District School Board is located on the island on the lands of two treaties. These treaties have been signed by the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation and the First Nations of the William Treaties, who are the Mississaugas of Elderville, Curve Lake, Hathawa, Scugog Island, and the Chippewas of Beausoleil, Rama, and Georgina Island, who is our closest neighbor and partner in education. To honor this agreement, we will take up our responsibility to be respectful of the traditions, knowledge, and inherent rights as sovereign nations. We will respect their relationship with these lands and recognize that our connection to this land is through the continued relationship with these First Nations. And we acknowledge that our shared responsibility to respect and care for the land and waters for our future generations.
Thank you, Trustee Wright, and so appropriate. Just want to mention this past weekend was the Chippewas of Georgina Island powwow, and we got to be, many of us here were part of that and celebrated with them, and it was a wonderful time, and I know there'll be more information coming about that, so thank you. Next item, our first item is the approval of the agenda, and without objection, the agenda shall be adopted. Is there any opposition? Okay, I'm not seeing or hearing anything, so without objection, the agenda is approved. The next item on the list is the declaration of conflict of interest. If any member of the Finance and Property Standing Committee has a direct personal interest or direct or indirect pecuniary interest in any matter being discussed during the meeting, please state their conflict and the nature thereof. And seeing and hearing none, we will move on to number 5, approval of the minutes. The minutes of the June 10th, 2025 Finance and Property Standing Committee public session have been distributed to all committee members. Are there any corrections to the minutes? I'm not seeing or hearing anything, so as there are no corrections, the minutes are approved as presented. Thank you. Moving on to information items. The first one is on the Dr. Betty Stevenson Secondary School Project Tender Award. I would like to invite Associate Director Vidya Maharaj to speak to this item. When you're ready, A.D. Maharaj.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Through you, we came to the committee in June and asked for approval to award the tender for Dr. Betty Stevenson as long as it came in within the project budget, and promised that we would report back to the Finance and Property Committee on that process and on the tender results. In conjunction with our agent, Snyder's Architects, we did award the contract, as you can see on page 6 of 41 in your agenda, and the contract was awarded to Percon Contracting Incorporated in the amount of $37.8 million. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, A.D. Maharaj. Are there any questions, trustees? No? Okay. So we will move on. Thank you very much for the report. Next, item number 2, construction projects of new elementary and secondary schools and additions to schools. Again, I would like to invite Associate Director Vidya Maharaj to speak to this item when you're ready.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and I'll turn it over to our Senior Manager of Construction and Renewal, Gerard Paris.
Thank you, thank you, Madam Chair, and good evening, everyone. If you could please refer to Appendix A of the Construction Project Report, which can be found on page 15 of your package. This will include key milestone dates for the current projects that are approved by the Ministry. As this is the first report of the new school year, I will run through the status of each project. In subsequent monthly meetings, I will highlight any revisions from the previous month. So starting at the top, I'm happy to report that the new Spring Lakes Public School, the replacement Dr. G.W. Williams Secondary School, and the replacement Queensville Public School opened their doors to students for the start of this school year on September 2nd. A huge thank you to everyone who helped to make this happen. Moving down, the 19 classroom addition at Markville Secondary School, the tender was released on September 3rd, and the plan is to have the tender award report presented at the next committee's meeting in October. Proposed opening remains unchanged at September 2027. The Dr. Betty Stevenson conversion to a secondary school has been discussed prior, and the planned opening remains unchanged at September 2027. Moving down, the unnamed Angus Glen Elementary School. Site plan is being reviewed by the City of Markham and is progressing well. The detailed design is ongoing, and the planned opening of September 2028 remains unchanged. The unnamed Village Parkway Elementary School is currently in schematic design stage, working towards a site plan application with the City of Markham in April of 2026. The planned opening of September 2029 remains unchanged. The unnamed Vaughan Metro Centre Elementary School, which is a joint venture with the York Catholic District School Board, is also in the schematic design stage, and a planned site plan application submission date of June 2026. So that gives a quick summary of the construction project updates.
Thank you very much, Jerry. Anyone have questions? Trustee Lynn, when you're ready.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you for the report. Just one question on the Markham Center Elementary School. Following the timeline on the construction begins January 2025, and the original timeline was April 2025. Are we anticipating the full 1 year delay per the original is 2027 September. Now our timeline is September 2028. I'm just asking the question because the community have a lot of capstone and holding school, so I just want to have a general understanding of the closer, more accurate closing line. I am seeing we are being conservative to say that it is 2028, but what is the outlook for on time based on the 4-month difference from the construction begin time?
Thanks for the question. Actually, apologies, I forgot to update Markham Center. So construction is progressing at Markham Center, and right now it is projected for September 2028. However, it's very much weather dependent if we have a good winter, but it's really hard to say. But right now, 2028 is kind of where we're landing with the contractor. With the underground parking, the complexity of the project, 3-story, it does add some complexity to the project.
Okay, thank you. I think, I think I understand because this is the first of a kind that we are building with those underground parking.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for that, and I'll looking forward for the progress and development.
Okay, and I will add that the soil conditions in that plot of land isn't favorable, so it needs a lot of work
Okay.
to get the building out of the ground.
Appreciate that. Thank you so much, and thanks,
Yeah.
Madam Chair.
Thank you, Trustee Lynn. Any other trustees with questions? No? Okay, I see no other trustees on the speakers list, so thank you very much for the report. Moving on, thank you. Next, development application for 7600 Weston Road, City of Vaughan, Ward 3. I would like to invite Manager Gilbert Look to speak to the next item. When you're ready, please.
Thank you, and good evening, everybody. So before you our information report for development application in the city of Vaughan in the Weston Highway 7 area, where the city is undergoing a secondary plan, and we're participating in that secondary plan to identify and locate the required school sites. This particular application is for 4,388 units. We don't have any concerns with it as subject to us getting the school sites required through the secondary plan process. So just report to trustees, note there is a lot of development in this area, but there is constraints in terms of infrastructure, so we don't expect to see thousands of units popping up. They're just applications at this point. So happy to answer any questions, though. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Trustees, any questions? No? I don't see anybody on the speakers list, so thank you very much, Gilbert, for the report. Moving on to number 4 of information items, the naming of former Dr. G.W. Williams Secondary School for administration and continuing education use. I would like to invite Associate Director Neil Gunathang and Superintendent Laura Lisi to speak to the next item. And whoever wants to start may go. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The purpose of this report is to provide information on the naming of the former Dr. G.W. Williams Secondary School, which is located very close to us here at 39 Dunning Avenue in Aurora, which will now be used for administrative and continuing education use. This past September, we just heard about some school openings. The new Dr. G.W. Williams building opened, and as it was a replacement school, it maintained that name. So the former school, effective July 1st, 2025, was renamed the YRDSB Education Support Center and is currently being utilized for administrative purposes, including continuing education, the reception center, and department use. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Superintendent Lisi. Any questions, trustees? I have one. Could you outline just what is in that building now? Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So our Continuing Education Support Center, which was formerly housed at the Dr. Betty Continuing Education Center, is now there. So our adult day school, all of our administrative support for our night school, continuing education, our day school online learning courses work out of that building. Many of our international student programs, the staff for those teams are housed in that building. So many of our department staff currently worked out of the Dr. Betty Center. Those department staff are housed in what was the former Dr. G.W. Williams and is now the Education Support Center.
And that makes sense. I just wanted an explanation how we got the name, so thank you very much. Okay. Oh, sorry, Trustee Wright, go ahead, please.
Sorry, it just came to me. I'm just wondering what the utilization of that building is. Like, are we using because it was a pretty large school, and especially compared to where those people are coming from. So what's the capacity usage of that?
We have it quite full, but you're right. We had to look at what the different rooms and spaces are, right? Like a gymnasium space isn't going to be used the same way. We moved a considerable amount of equipment that could be used out of that building and into the new Dr. G.W. Williams. Science lab equipment, auto technology shop equipment. those types of things. But my understanding from my colleagues who are working there is the building is quite full. We're at capacity with parking for staff and usage during the day, so maximum utilization at the moment.
Thank you, Trustee Wright. Any others? Okay, I don't see anyone else. Thank you very much for the report. So moving on to decision items. The first one is the confirmation of school naming for the Dr. Betty Stevenson Secondary School. I would like to invite Associate Director Neil Gunathang and Superintendent Laura Listi to speak to the next item. And whoever starts, you may go when you're ready. Thank you.
Thank you, and through you, Madam Chair, I'm bringing forward a request for a recommendation this evening. I'd like to ask the Finance and Property Standing Committee to support bringing the following motion forward to the board for consideration and decision, that the York Region District School Board confirm the name Dr. Betty Stevenson Secondary School as per the 2010 board motion for the new secondary school located at 36 Regatta Avenue in the community of Oak Ridges. I'm not going to read you the entire report, but I will give you some highlights of the background. In September of 2027, we just saw the schedule, the York Region District School Board will open a new secondary school in the community of Oak Ridges. In 2011, this school was partially constructed and operated as an interim continuing education and administrative center. That was done through a board motion in 2010 to name that location the Dr. Betty Stevenson Center for Learning. I would like to take an opportunity to highlight that Dr. Betty Stevenson was the first woman to serve as Minister of Labor, Minister of Education, and Minister of Colleges and Universities, as well as the Chair of the Management Board, Treasurer, and Deputy Premier. And in addition to her political career, she practiced medicine for over 40 years in the province of Ontario. There is some background for the trustees on the construction and funding and the naming process, but I would like to similarly point out that as the Dr. Betty Stevenson Center for Learning was funded for a future secondary school and the name was previously approved for the unnamed secondary school site at 36 Regatta Avenue, the school should be considered funded and named as a secondary school. The report is in front of you for your consideration, and I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you very much, Superintendent Listi. Trustees, any questions? Go ahead, Trustee Kolosowski, when you're ready.
Thank you, Chair Butterworth. So it's, first of all, exciting to see that after several decades since it was first announced, the construction is finally underway on the much-needed secondary school in Oak Ridges. This has been a long time coming for local families, and it's an important step towards meeting the educational needs in the community. As we know, some of the nearby schools like Richmond Hill High School, Richmond Green Secondary School are at or above capacity, so clearly the demand is there in the area, and this will be providing some much-needed relief. I also think it's an important opportunity to reflect on how we manage resources efficiently as a board. While school namings can be an important process, in a case like this where a name has already been approved, reusing it allows us to avoid redundant spending and focus our budget on where it matters most, on students, on educators, and in the classroom. So my question is, what are some examples of efficiencies that we're able to create by not renaming the school from scratch?
Thank you, and through you, Madam Chair. Considerable trustee as well as staff time goes into our school naming process. As you're aware, my colleague, Associate Director Gunathang, brought that to the board last winter. So I actually chair the team on school naming, and some of my colleagues from the planning department are here. Considerable staff time and resources go into researching that, along with the help of our public relations corporate communications team. As well, we go out into the community, and hold a fence, which takes some time from our planning team as well as our research and assessment team to compile those resources. So I appreciate you bringing to the attention of the public the efficiencies we were able to create by recognizing past governance that supports our decision moving forward. I hope I've answered your question.
Thank you, Madam Chair. That answers all my questions.
Okay, great. Anyone else? I would like to follow up with one. Have we ever had any opposition to the name Dr. Betty Stevenson? Even, I mean, this is probably dating some of us, and some of you were probably not even in this role. I'm sure you weren't in this role. Have we ever had any opposition to even that when it was the Dr. Betty Stevenson, Education Center? Did we ever have any opposition to the name that we know of?
Thank you, Trustee Butterworth, and through you, I'd like to say that I'm of the similar vintage, I think, that I remember Dr. Betty Stevenson as a Minister of Education, and I actually felt it was important to highlight that part of the report for the minutes, because as a female educator, I look to her as a role model and someone who showed that leadership in education was important in the province of Ontario. To answer your question specifically, I'm not aware of any opposition to the name.
Okay, thank you very much. I don't see any other trustees. Oh, sorry. Trustee McCarthy, go ahead when you're ready.
Thank you, Chair. Through you, it just occurred to me, and forgive me if I'm redundant, but just to clarify, the report that we just received about the schools to be opened in, I think it was 2028. Can you just clarify a little bit the relationship that this Dr. Betty Stevenson Secondary School will have with the proposed opening of the September 2028? I think we just said it was projected to be built. They're both in Oak Ridges. How do they work together? Sorry if that's vague. Thank you.
Through you, Madam Chair. Yes, I understand your question, and I apologize for any confusion. It's actually one building. So the Dr. Betty Stevenson building on Regatta for the past several years has served as a department office as well as our continuing education site. We've moved all of those people in those departments out of that building. The building is currently empty, and our facility services and planning teams are working on changing it from its past purposes, department and continuing education, to what it will be in September 2027, when we're able to open that same building as a fully functioning high school.
Okay, thanks for the clarification. I wasn't clear if it was two separate buildings. I got it. Thank you very much. Oh,
sorry.
That's okay.
I'm sorry. I missed your hand. I saw Trustee Ron Lynn's hand.
Oh, sorry,
Did
no
you
problem.
want to offer more to
Yeah,
Trustee McCarthy's
I just wanted
question? Go
I
ahead.
just wanted to clarify that it's September 2027 for the Dr. Betty School opening, not 28, so just there.
Thank you for the clarification. Trustee Lynn, did you want to go now?
Well, I think it is definitely a very worthy name to put through for our secondary school. I want to echo my previous colleague's comment that we are follow through. We are just changing the meeting to a full secondary school. I just want to share that personally, I have had great experience with Dr. Betty Stevenson Learning Center over the past many years. They have held many new family settlement workshop, continual education for adult, even our space for some of our students that have some special needs, and the welcoming center team to welcome all the families. It is definitely a very welcoming a reputation that we have been built up, and putting this name to our secondary school to be rebuilt, to be transformed to, is definitely most suitable, and I fully support this recommendation from the staff. I just want to say thank you and acknowledge that. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Trustee Lynn. Last call, any questions? Okay, I don't see anyone else on the speakers list. So at this time, may I please have a motion to approve the following recommendation? If it's, okay, yeah. So I was going to read it, is that okay? Oh, did you have a question? Okay, I'll read it and then I'll take, so that the York Region District School Board confirm the name Dr. Betty Stevenson Secondary School as per the 2010 board motion for the new secondary school located at 36 Regatta Avenue in the community of Oak Ridges in the city of Richmond Hill. May I have a mover, please? Trustee Robert Kolosowski moves the motion. Thank you. Anyone opposed? No? Okay, so motion to approve is carried. Thank you very much, trustees. Moving on to decision item number 2, development applications. There's a lot of numbers and letters. Highway 7, City of Vaughan, Ward 4. I would like to invite Manager Gilbert Look to speak to the next item. When you are ready, go ahead, please.
Thank you for you, Madam Chair. So this application is in the area known as the Concord Grove Secondary Plan in the city of Vaughan, north of Highway 7, west of Dufferin. So an application has come in. This particular one is for 9,590. There's phase 1 was previously approved for just over 1,300 units, so around 12,000, over 12,000 units is being proposed in this area. And you can see in Appendix B, the community. So we have identified to the city that there may be a need for an elementary school based on the units. In the report, it speaks to how many elementary students are projected. So we have told the city, if they do build this number of units, we're going to need potentially an elementary school. And the recommendation before you is to confirm that to the city and that we work with the city to identify an appropriate elementary school site in this development. And similar to other areas of Vaughan, there is a lot of servicing constraints, so it may be a while before this development moves forward, including the construction of the Concord GO station. But happy to answer any questions trustees may have.
Thank you, Gilbert. Trustees, any questions? Okay, I'm not seeing or hearing anyone. May I please have a motion to approve the following recommendation? That the York Region District School Board approve the following recommendations. That the York Region School Board will require at least one elementary school site within the draft plan of subdivision 19T-25V009, City of Vaughan, and that the staff work with the City of Vaughan to finalize the location and configuration of the school site. May I have a mover, please? Trustee Melody Wright, please. Thank you. Anyone opposed? Okay, I don't see anyone. Thank you. Motion to approve is carried. Thank you very much. Moving on to decision item number 3, 2025-26 Capital Priorities Program submission. I would like to invite Manager Trina Sprayson to speak to the next item. When you're ready, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So this report outlines information on the 25-26 Capital Priorities Program project list. The ministry released a memo on September 8th asking school boards for their capital priority project requests that need to be submitted to the ministry on October 8th. So the 2025-26 Capital Priorities Program list in Appendix A are the proposed projects that we'll be resubmitting to the Ministry of Education for funding approval. So those 3 projects are the unnamed Markham Bursey Glen Secondary School, Dr. G.W. Williams Secondary School addition, and also a Unionville High School addition instead of a modular replacement pack. The location of these projects is referenced in Appendix B. And also to note, the request from the ministry has indicated metrics for school utilization, including nearby schools. This is to demonstrate a more imminent need for the project. So all schools have to be at least 95% utilized for the 24-25 school year, and also have at least 100% utilization by year 5 after the project opens. So these 3 secondary school projects meet these metrics. As in past capital priorities updates, we've included emergent areas that are potential school projects in 5 to 10 years as well, and also longer-term growth areas that we're monitoring that are likely beyond 10 years. This list is also found on Appendix A. And the recommendation is on that page, so I'd be happy to take any questions if there were any.
Thank you, Trina. Trustees, are there any questions? Trustee, I'm not sure, Trustee Wright? She's pointing. She's the vice chair. She can point. Trustee Melanie Wright, go ahead, please, and then Trustee McCarthy.
Thank you very much, Chair. I just have a quick question because you mentioned an addition to G.W. Williams, which we just finished building. So I'm just wondering why we're looking at asking for an addition already when we just opened the doors. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, through you, Chair. So the Dr. G.W. Williams currently has 10 portables on site that we had to place on site for the enrollment. We had communicated previously with the ministry that we were going to be opening a school that we needed to have larger for the population, because initially the business case was done years ago when the enrollment was much smaller. But we're happy to say we have a nice enrollment of 1,500 students. So this will be our second time applying for that addition officially through the capital priorities submission.
Thank you. And just a follow-up, does Aurora's capacity factor into that as well? Have we looked at boundary changes, or is it just keeping the boundaries as they are because Aurora is full as well? Thank you.
Thank you, through you, Chair. So we recently undertook a boundary change to rebalance the enrollment between Dr. Williams and Aurora High. Aurora High's utilization is included in the business case, and it's still a very good business case for an addition at Williams. And there will be some longer-term growth down the road in Aurora. So yeah, we have students who are from Regency Acres and Highview that were part of a boundary change to be attached to Aurora High School instead of Dr. Williams, so that will help a bit rebalance over time. That's a grandfathering, so that'll take a couple years to be in effect.
Okay, thank you very much for the explanation.
Thank you, Trustee Wright. Trustee McCarthy?
Thank you, Chair, through you. I'm just looking at the table here on page 38 of 41 at the top, where it's saying proposed capacity. I'm just trying to understand. So the addition is going to give us an extra 207 in Dr. Williams, and then the growth for Mark and Bercy is going to be 1,300. I'm just not really understanding that.
Chair, the list here is a mix of brand new schools and additions to existing schools. So the capacity for Dr. Williams is just the addition, what that's going to add to the existing capacity. And then because Markham Bursey is a brand new school, that will be the entire capacity of the school will be 1,301, for example. I hope that helps clarify.
Okay, thank you. I thought so. I just wanted to get that clarified. Thank you, Mr. Chair, Madam Chair, thank you.
Thank you, Trustee McCarthy. Anyone else? No. Okay, not seeing or hearing anyone. Okay, so we need to make a motion to approve the following recommendation, that the York Region District School Board approve the 2025-2026 Capital Priorities Program submission list, emerging project areas and long-term growth areas. And may I have a mover for that, please? Trustee Ron Lin, thank you. Anyone opposed? No opposition, thank you. Motion to approve is carried. Wow, awesome. Moving on to date of the next meeting, which will be October 28th, 2025 for the Public Finance and Property Standing Committee. And seeing that there are no further questions, we will move to adjourn the Finance and Property Standing Committee public session at 7:36 p.m. Wow, that's awesome. If there are no other items of business, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you. Trustees, committee members, staff, and presenters for joining tonight's public session. Do I hit it again? We're done. That one. Thank you.